excited about today's video, guys. Look at me, I'm ecstatic. I've been working on this video for weeks and I'm so excited to finally be bringing you the process of how we created Anna's brilliant piece of work which she can use for her showreel, and we made it at home. Guys, I can't believe we did this at home. The behind the scenes, all of the equipment, price breakdowns, you're going to be seeing me direct her live in the moment, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you like the work that you are seeing today and you would like my personal help of making your work look fantastic, I am available for one-to-one consultations. All you have to do is check the link in my description. That will take you to my website, fill out a little form telling me what it is that you would like my help with, and we will take it from there. And I can't wait to meet some of you guys. Here is the finished piece of work which Anna and I created. Enjoy the video.
She's the kind of person who stands at the side of a party and she doesn't do anything interesting or fun, but instead she'll take a picture of those that do, which, if we're honest, 9 times out of 10 is me or someone like me. And she'll post that picture and she'll comment some passive aggressive shit like, oh, someone was having a good time. And it's not a flattering picture ever. It's a picture of someone like me who works hard and doesn't get to enjoy themselves that often, having a good time. Well, you don't believe me? Go and look at her Instagram. She's like the joy police, running around, taking her little pictures, just judging everyone. And do you know what? Like, whilst we're on it, I refuse to censor my behaviour like everyone does these days, because those are the moments that life is all about, when you're embarrassing and you're wrong and maybe sometimes a bit illegal. You know what I'm on about. But Hannah, your new girl Hannah, she's just like... I swear you never even liked her anyway. Hello, I'm Anna. She's amazing. Yeah.
Anna's not actually going to be using this for her showreel. This is just for like educational purposes only. So let's talk through the setup. Over here, we've got lovely Anna. We have got a backdrop, we've got 2 lights, my microphone and my camera. The camera which I'm using is the Canon EOS 250D with a 50mm portrait lens. I will put the name of it now. I'm gonna put all of the prices for everything now, and the links for everything that I'm using will be down below. Over here, I'm using this softbox light. I've got one of the lights right here, which we're using as our backlight. The reason I've positioned it here is so that it reflects off of the backdrop. When Anna is stood in her position, can you take a step forward for me?
Yeah.
Great. When Anna is stood there, it creates a little bit of separation between her and the background, which is what we want because she's the focus of the picture, obviously. This is going to be my main light, or key light, I think it's called. I don't know.
Your main light. My main light.
This is my main light. Now, it's really important when you are lighting your subject that is coming from above, because as people, we are used to light coming from above. That provides a really flattering image on her face. It means that her shadows are not glow. You know, it means she's glowing. Her gorgeous golden highlighter is wonderful.
You always glow when you're God's favourite, though.
You better tell him. The reason I'm using this brown backdrop is because it's textured, so it provides a bit of dimension, which makes the space look a lot bigger, and it means that she is purely the focus, filling up this beautiful void. I realised I forgot to talk you through my camera settings. I was filming in 25 frames per second. My aperture was set at f1.8, which is the lowest that my camera goes to, and my shutter speed was 1/50. My ISO was automatic, and yeah, that's it. If that doesn't mean anything to you, let me know and I'll make another video about it. But don't worry if you don't have a camera, because I'm also going to be doing this whole thing again, showing you how we film this kind of thing on an iPhone. So make sure that you subscribe if you want to see that. Peace. My microphone is the Zoom H5 and I've got it here. And as you will see, if I hover my hand in front of the camera, you can see it here, but you can no longer see my hand really where it is. So the microphone's in front of her so that it picks the sound up in the best way possible. And I think that's everything that I need to say.
Mm-hmm. You just like zoomed through that. That was amazing.
I did. If you need to slow this video down, you can't. You can only Essentially, we just want to see you act. You do not need all of this fancy setup. I just think this makes Anna look really good, because the other goal today is to make Anna look fantastic, which is why we've got this script. Anna, can you talk to me today about what piece you've chosen?
So, from a man called Mike Bartlett, he's a playwright, and he wrote a play called An Intervention. I just kind of fell in love with this speech.
Why do you love the speech?
If I'm doing a showreel or a monologue or whatever, I want to showcase my best self. And this is just the closest thing to Anna that I could find.
You feel like it represents yourself?
I feel like it represents myself, yeah.
Amazing. When you first read it, did you feel like you could see yourself doing it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And do you feel like it's going somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's happening in the speech? Talk to me about what's happening in the speech.
So in this speech, like...
Yes, I will put a copy of the speech now for you to screenshot.
They're called character A and character B. Character A is telling character B why she doesn't like his new girlfriend. They're not actually gendered, but just to make it more suited to me understanding it, I've gendered A as a girl and B as a boy. She really wants him to leave his girlfriend, Hannah, who she thinks is changing things about him and just isn't good for him and is just a bit of a dirty girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
That wasn't very nice to say. So they're not real people.
What happened?
This is so hard.
You're doing great, sweetie. So what are you trying to do in the speech? What are you trying to do to the other person who's...
Convince, persuade,
Yeah.
and encourage him
To?
to leave his girlfriend.
Why?
Because I don't like her.
Why don't you like her?
I think she's scared of losing her best mate permanently
Right.
to another girl.
So would you say you're trying to remind him why he's your best mate?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What happens if he doesn't leave his girlfriend?
I think I'd seriously have to consider maintaining this friendship, and it might be a time for me to have change in my life,
So
to be
if he doesn't
honest.
leave his girlfriend, you're going to leave.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to get in the speech, right?
High
This is-
stakes
High steaks and chips.
and chips.
Great. High steak bake.
High steak bake.
Sometimes, if you do not get given the context of what's happening in the scene, or if you do not have enough time to read a 400-page script or what have you, make sure that you are making the choices for yourself. Anna has decided that this is her best mate, that this is someone who she cares about very, very deeply.
Let's say.
Oh, I care about you.
I care about you. I like you.
I really love this girl. Anna's decided that there are consequences if this person does not leave their toxic partner. These are all choices that Anna has made. They might not be 100% accurate to the script, but that's not really what this is about, because in your showreel, they're going to be looking for the performance and the level of detail that the actor is bringing. So what's important is that you make a choice. If you don't know what's happening in the scene, decide what's happening in the scene. We have made cuts. Time is of the essence. Ideally, time-wise, you want to aim for 30 seconds to a minute long per speech. That means making cuts. We are being respectful to the writers. We are respecting their work because the writers have put their blood, sweat and tears into making this script possible. However, Anna's a brilliant actress. She doesn't need a bunch of lines to showcase that, and she can do a lot with her face. Sometimes less is more.
Today, I found out that I actually have a huge emotional attachment to a lot of the lines that I was saying, but Seb was very strict about the fact that it's not about like how you feel about the lines, it's about the way you're saying the lines. So cut it, just do it, make the cut.
Make the cut.
You can do it. I was really upset. I almost, got a bit aggressive about it, but it's fine.
The things that I ask myself when we are deciding what to cut, have I repeated myself? If I've said it once, I don't need to say it again. There was a line in here. Instead, she'll take a picture of those who do. And then later on, she said, yeah, man, she'll take a picture and put it on her Insta story or tweet about it. You've already said that she takes the picture, and we know that she's posting it on social media. It's pretty obvious from the rest of the speech. So you don't need to say that second line.
Made the point one time.
And then the other thing I consider when I'm making cuts is, do I miss it? So for example, Anna was pretty resistant. I say that with love.
Shady bitch. Sorry.
Anna didn't want to make some of these cuts, but I said to her, do you know what? We'll try it with the cut, and if you miss it, we'll put it back in.
I haven't missed it.
She hasn't missed it.
I didn't miss it.
There you go. And it be like that. You gotta be ruthless. Cut it. Now we're moving on to the section where we actually filmed her doing the scene. Now please bear in mind that acting and this work that we do is a form of art in itself. There is no right or wrong answer. Some of you might be directors and actors who are watching this who might be looking at the notes which I gave her or the choices that Anna made, and you might be thinking,
That is a terrible note to give. I would never make that choice. That is an awful decision to make. I'm clicking off this video.
if that is the case for you, go ahead, but I ask you to approach this section open-mindedly. Remember that this is just practice. The mission of the day was to show Anna doing some fantastic work and making really strong choices in her work, which is what I think she did. So with that in mind, please enjoy this section of us actually working together. You look fantastic. All right, cool. How you feeling?
Yeah, good. How are you feeling? Okay, cool. I'm ready.
Take your time. I just want you to breathe and enjoy it. We're going to do it more than once anyway.
Okay, cool.
Whenever you're ready, Hannah.
Alright. Right. I'm only going to say this once, so listen carefully. What it comes down to, yeah, is that I've got a personality and she looks like an ant. Don't look at me like that, she does. Right, fine. Ant thing, not the issue at hand here. How she looks ain't actually my problem. My problem is that she's the sort of person who stands at the side of a party and doesn't do anything interesting or fun, but instead she'll take a picture of those that do, which, if we're honest, 9 times out of 10, is me. or someone like me, and she'll post it and she'll comment some passive aggressive shit like, oh, someone was having a good time. And it's not a flattering picture ever. No, it's a picture of someone like me who works hard and doesn't get to enjoy themselves that often, having a good time. Don't believe me? No? Go look at her Instagram. She's like the joy police, running around taking her little pictures and just judging people. And do you know what? Yeah, I refuse to censor my behaviour like everyone does these days, because those are the moments that life is all about. When you're embarrassing and you're wrong and maybe sometimes a bit illegal. You know what I'm on about. Oh, and Hannah. Your girl Hannah. I swear you never even liked her anyway.
Can't there.
Alright.
Beautiful. How you feeling?
Yeah, I think I rushed it a little bit, to be honest. Do you not?
No. But I
Okay.
think you can take your time a little bit.
I think so too.
We're going to go again.
Okay. I love acting with you so much because you're
Is what
so
I'm doing
like
helpful? I'm just about to
so
ask you.
you're honestly so responsive, and you give me like
Yeah, but you're doing it. You're in front of the camera. My only
Yeah.
job right now is to support you. And to listen
but
to
that's
you.
exactly what you do as someone like behind the camera. You support and you give like cues and faces, and you can't act with someone who's not acting with you.
No, it's so important.
Try and have another actor help you,
Yeah,
ideally.
Remember what you're trying to do. You want him to leave his girl, right?
Yeah.
Specifically with that line at the end. You know what I'm on about.
Okay.
I really want to see.
Don't
you
throw it
soften
away.
Yeah, don't throw it away. But I know that was because you wanted to make the choice.
Yeah.
You don't think it's a good choice, but if it doesn't come, don't worry about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I could always do the zoot and not like.
This is for educational purposes.
This is no, there's no real zooting.
No one's
weeding.
No.
What like weeding is
What's weed?
I love plants so much. Like
Mother Nature
is just beautiful. Beautiful.
on that line. You know what I'm on about. What are you doing to him?
Making him laugh. Yeah.
You know
Okay.
what I'm on about. Try that.
You know what I'm on about. Like how we used to be. You don't smoke with me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way you're doing that now, the way you're talking to me.
Yeah.
Bring that energy into that line.
Okay.
'Cause
Got
it's
you.
gorgeous. Take a time. Yeah.
Do you have any other sort of like directing notes?
No, the only thing I want you to think about is that this is your mate who you miss.
Okay.
What's going to happen if you don't say this?
I think the real like deep rooted fear in this is that she's just lonely.
Why does she need him?
I don't think any other friend or person or relationship she's ever had, whether it be her family or her friends, has understood her quite the way that her best mate has understood her. When I read the play, I never really got a sense of like it being any more than a platonic friendship. I do genuinely think this is just a genuine friendship, and she doesn't want to lose it. I don't think she's in love with him. I don't think she's jealous of this girl. I think she just wants her friend back for her.
Good. In that case, I think that's really good. And I'm not saying that stakes have to come when you're in love with him.
Right.
Oftentimes we think, oh, it's only high stakes if you're in love
If you're in love with him. It's
Which
not.
isn't true.
It's not.
But what are the stakes of the situation is what I'm asking you.
That she could lose a friend, and also she's losing a part of herself with that as well, because she's now questioning herself.
Yeah. I'm asking you to like think it aloud just so that you can
To get the
sense of
like.
it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you're good. I really want you to make him laugh in the way that you banter.
Okay, cool.
If you were telling me what you're telling this guy,
Yeah.
how
I would say it was so much passion.
great.
Yeah.
Bring that into it. That's what's missing.
Okay, cool.
If it's helpful to think you're telling me, see what that does.
Okay.
Is that helpful? I don't
Yeah,
want to use
it's very helpful because I don't actually have a real person in mind right now.
Great.
So it's good to like
Then-
use you and actually have you in the flesh.
Whenever you're ready.
Right. I'm only going to say this once, so listen carefully. What it comes down to is that I've got a personality and she looks like an ant. Don't look at me like that, she does. Right, fine. The ant thing, not the issue at hand here. How she looks ain't actually my problem. My problem is that she's the sort of person who stands at the side of a party and doesn't do anything interesting or fun, but instead she'll take a picture of those that do, which, if we're honest, 9 times out of 10 is me. Or someone like me. And she'll post that picture and she'll comment some passive aggressive shit like, oh, someone was having a good time. And it's not a flattering picture ever. No, it can't be. It's a picture of someone like me who works hard and doesn't get to enjoy themselves that often, having a good time. No? Don't believe me? Go look at her Instagram. She's like the joy police, just running around judging people, taking their little pictures. And do you know what? Yeah, do you know what? I refuse to curtail my behaviour like everyone does these days, because those are the moments that life is all about, when you're embarrassing and you're wrong and maybe sometimes a bit illegal. Oh, you know what I'm on about. Come on, like. And Hannah, your new gal Hannah, you never used to like her anyway. Damn. Really?
I thought it was beautiful. Did you not like it?
Really?
I thought it was beautiful. What's wrong?
Oh, I don't know. I thought I fucked up some of the lines.
Right.
But the way it was, like, you liked it.
Loved it.
I made you feel something.
I loved it. I thought it made me feel something. I thought it was beautiful.
Okay, cool.
She's an actress.
That's my best friend. She a real bad bitch, you know, money. You know, that helped. That convo helped to like think of talking to you. Actually,
Good. I think that was beautiful.
I think the start. I need to.
Would it be helpful to do a little improv where I'm talking about all the reasons why I want to stay with this girl, and you find a reason to stop me?
Yeah, should we do a little role play?
Should we do a role play?
Together. I'm not improving a monologue. I'll improv a duologue.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And when you think you're ready, you'll go into it.
Go into it. Let's do that. I think that's a nice idea. For what? For what reason?
No, but she's incredible. Like, she makes me laugh. She takes me out.
I make you laugh. I take you out.
Yeah, but you're not my girlfriend, so it's different.
She's not good for you, man. She's not good for you.
How
She's
the
not
fuck
good for
do you
you.
know?
Right. Okay. Do you know what? Right. I'm only going to say this once. So listen carefully. Okay. What it comes down to is that I've got a personality and she looks like an ant.
I'm going to stop it there, otherwise this video is going to be 10 years long. I hope that gives you a clear idea of different things that you could try to get different results out of you. And now we're going to move on to the editing section of the video. So let's go. Welcome to Final Cut Pro, where I'm going to be editing Anna's showreel. Now, right off the bat, the mission for this is just to enhance everything that Anna's doing. The editing is going to be very, very simple. I'm not adding any crazy effects, no music, okay? The point here is to showcase your acting skills, not how you look good in front of a camera to some music. So we're going to be keeping it very, very simple. I've already imported over my raw footage, and this is the audio file from my Zoom H5, which I showed you guys earlier. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a compound clip by selecting Option G on my keyboard, and I'm just going to call this take 5. This is actually the 5th take which we did. When Anna looked over everything, this was her favorite one, and because it's her reel, it's really important that she likes it best, so ultimately what she says is what goes in this case. This is what we are now working with. At the end of it, it's really important that you give yourselves a few seconds just of like breathing airspace, if that makes sense, which is why I've left quite a big gap of silence at the end here. What Anna does on the last line is really, really lovely, and I just want to let it breathe, so that's exactly what I've done.
I swear you never even liked her anyway.
Leaving it for a few seconds, it just means that it gives the speech time to settle. It gives you time to just like hear and process everything that she says, and I just think it's really lovely. Also, from an editing perspective, it just gives me a little bit extra room to work with. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and make cuts. Anna starts the speech from this point.
Right. I'm only going to say this once, yeah? So just listen carefully.
I'm going to be pretty ruthless and actually start the speech from I've got a personality and she looks like an ant. Now, from a casting director's perspective, that is a brilliant line to open on. It's already engaging. It's a first line that has got me hooked. I want to hear the rest of it. For YouTube, because I want to get you guys' attention even more, I'm going to start it from she's the kind of person who stands at the side of a party.
She's the kind of person who stands at the side of a party.
For me, when I was watching it, I just thought that Anna really took it up a notch and she really amped up her performance from this particular line, which is why I'm choosing to start from here. And also for time-wise, we want the speech to be about a minute long. Right now it's looking at 1:10, which is relatively decent. I don't want to see you explaining what's been going on. I just want to see you deal with it. And Anna is already dealing with it from that line. I also did send Anna a longer version starting from the ant line because she really liked it. And if she is absolutely desperate to keep it, then that is not for me to discuss at the
the end of the day is her show reel, so what she says goes. Now that I've done that, I'm going to get into the color grading. I'm not going to go into color grading too much just because this video will be like super long if I do that, but I am going to show you guys a quick preset which I made from when I was practicing color grading on one of Anna's earlier takes. And so I saved a preset onto my Final Cut Pro called Anna, which I color graded it to match her skin tone, and already you can see the difference. Now from this basic preset, I can go in and make individual tweaks, which is what I'm going to do now. One thing I do want to show you in the color grading section of this though is the shape mask. You may notice if I just show the shape mask for a second, if I move this around, you can kind of see how there's this bright area. I created this shape mask where I just affected the outside of the frame and brought down the exposure on everything else. But to make sure that it stays on her face, what I've done is if I go back to the beginning of the frame, I use these little keyframes, and just whenever Anna makes a dramatic movement, I will follow it to her face. So over here she's moved over, so I'm just going to track that over slowly. I will basically go through the whole thing and just gently track it on her face whenever she massively moves away from it. Whenever I'm editing a showreel scene like this, I always look for, is there anything that's distracting me away from the actor and her brilliant performance? And right now, it's these creases. Now, this might not be super noticeable to some of you, but it's super, like, it sticks out like a sore thumb to me, and it just really, really gets in my way. To mask that, I'm going to go into my Gaussian effects, Gaussian, however you say it. Head over to my effects, and I'm going to turn this to add shape mask, so it is just a rounded section which is blurred out. Drag that over the top of the crease, feather it out so that it's not too noticeable, turn down the intensity of it. So this way you can definitely still see it, but it's not nearly as noticeable or distracting as before. And using keyframes, anytime that she's clipped or anything like that, I'm going to gently move it out the way.
Right. I'm only going to say this once. Yeah, so just...
Next thing I'm going to do is, if I'm listening to her voice,
it's a picture of someone like me who works hard and doesn't get to enjoy themselves that often, having a good time.
So I really like the way that it sounds. The microphone and the levels are sounding really good, but I actually want to enhance this ever so slightly by adding a teeny tiny echo. So the way that I'm going to do that, I'm going to go to my space designer and I'm going to add that on top, and into my audio panel I'm going to go to medium spaces, halls, medium hall, head down to my parameters and turn down the reverb to about -37.
And doesn't get to enjoy themselves that often, having a good time.
Just adding that tiny echo might not seem like much. It's absolutely tiny. I'm actually going to put it up to 33. It just gives the sense that she's filling up the space a little bit more, and it makes her seem a little bit more powerful, which this is an emotional speech. I want to drive that home. Now finally it's time to add my text. I'm going to go to my titles and I'm going to search for custom. At the beginning of every single scene in your show reel, you want to have the name of the show and also where the piece is from, as well as who directed it. Now in Anna's case, we're using this as an example of a brand new show reel, so I'm going to put her name right there, and then at the bottom I'm going to put an intervention by Mike Bartlett, because that is the name of the piece. Now this custom tool actually enables me to play around a little bit more with the font, so I'm going to make the font Arial because I just think that is the cleanest font to use for showreel. I'm going to play around with these settings until I find a transition that I like.
She's the kind of person who stands at the side of a party and she doesn't do anything interesting or fun, but instead she'll take a picture.
All I've got is Anna's name as my end card, and then Anna's contact details will go here. If you have got an agent, this is where you would put your agent's name and their email too, but obviously we're using this just for demonstration purposes so that Anna can use it for whatever she likes. So here we go, she's just putting her contact details there.
That's a wrap! That's a wrap! Hello Seb's YouTube, like and subscribe to my girl because she's amazing and you're so lucky for her to rub off her amazingness on you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for being great.
Woo!
You did such a great job.
That's okay.
This is video basically Anna gassing Seb up for 10
It
minutes.
really, do you know what, yeah? I've actually said this for so many, like, my favourite hobby is gassing Seb up. I'm so gassed I finally get to do it on a platform.
I'm just so happy that I get to gas you up and make some magic and show the world how fucking talented
We
you
gas
are.
each other. Get your friend like us, innit? Get your friend like us.
In a show reel, you do not want your scene, your monologue, your speech to really be, oopsie.
I dropped. Carry on.
This Google, that Google.
And I came from my mother.
Yes.
Can't get this on Amazon.
Is your phone ringing?
Yeah.